Yeah, what do you think of the ordinance?
I was originally very much in favor of it, but I have to do a little rethinking now but that's not really true at all. I'm definitely still in favor of it, but I would be concerned to know about the 5-person, how that relates to other laws related to discrimination, gender, race, that sort of thing.
As a raging liberal, are you worried of the? Are you worried about the socialist takeover of Leon County by this ordinance?
I think, you know what, I love everybody, gay, straight, or otherwise, but this ordinance is not correct to choose to elevate sexual orientation as a protected class. People are born black, they're born female. Sex is not something that you're born gay or not, it's something that's a spiritual choice. This should not be something that we are passing a law on. It's something that is a decision. People have the right to be gay and do what they want to do, but it's not something that a community should choose to elevate sex as to a protected class of people. So I'm against this ordinance, and that's why.
I am in favor of this ordinance because this is about human rights for all the people of Leon County. I represent a congregation, while not exclusively so, we are predominantly made up of individuals who are gay, lesbian, bisexual, and transgendered. And I can tell you that there are a number of folks in my congregation who are afraid to come and speak out because they're afraid of losing their jobs. I know that they have experienced from sharing with me the discrimination they faced in the past and that they're currently experiencing right here in Leon County. So this ordinance is very needed, it's very important. The dialogue tonight is good. I don't buy into the religious argument from the religious fundamentalists on the right who say that this is a religious theological issue that has to do with whether or not it's Christian or right to...
So you were disturbed by some of the more religious things you heard tonight?
Well, I think that as an openly gay Christian pastor, I would say that the fundamentalist religious right for folks to think that they have a lock on speaking for God, and certainly they do not.
Are you in support or against the ordinance?
I'm personally against the ordinance.
Do you have any specific reasons? Or?
I as a small business owner of about 6 employees, after talking with Commissioner Deloge and other commissioners, see that it would be something that would affect it. As this point of an economic recession, it's hard to have policies in place for such a small business, and that's where I come at my opposing view of the ordinance.
I'm a heterosexual mother of 2, a boy and a girl. I have 2 dogs. I'm like very typical American, and I'm just horrified that there are my neighbors in my neighborhood who are raising their children just like I'm raising mine don't have the same rights I have simply because they happen to be 2 women or 2 men. It makes no sense to me, and the idea that just because you go to a church you have a right to interfere with somebody else's, basic rights makes me sick.
This ordinance, I don't believe it is correct the way it is written at this time. I think it'll be too much of a burden on the small businesses in Leon County. We open them up to lawsuits, and we're going to have attorney firms advertising sexual discrimination. It's all we do.
Are you a small business owner in Leon County?
No, sir, I'm not.
You just supportive of small businesses in Leon County?
Well, that's what this is discriminating against. It's discriminating against the small independent businesses in Leon County.
As a Florida Gator, how do you feel about this? Come on. How do you feel about the ordinance?
After listening, I'm a little worried that it's not written well enough.
I
might be in support of the idea overall, but after listening, I feel like it might not be written well enough, and there might be some loopholes.
It might need some further discussion.
So maybe a new ordinance in the future, but I don't think the one right now is.
Do you feel like your religion allows you to discriminate against other people? I only asked the hard-hitting question.
I think the notion that religious freedom means that you have the freedom to discriminate against people on the basis of their private sexual behavior, that's a misinterpretation of religious freedom. Religious freedom doesn't guarantee me the right to be a bigot in my employment or public accommodation or in housing. I could be a private picket, but not a public picket under the provisions of religious freedom.
Since your dad is on the county commission, how do you feel about this ordinance?
I'm a very liberal person. I was on the opposite opinion of him, and he actually convinced me to go to the other side.
He's convinced you to be against the ordinance?
He's convinced me to come out against the ordinance based on the drafting. I think it should be redrafted.
So would you say that you've been brainwashed by the conservative right?
I really wouldn't put it that way, no.
I'm like Katie Kirk.
High school. I'm a local high school student here in Tallahassee, and I go to the alternative high school, and we have a large community of students who are gay or lesbian or just different in all sorts of ways. And as a student myself, I'm a heterosexual, but I know if I wasn't, I would not want to stay in a county that didn't give me rights that I considered equal to other students.
My biggest concern right now is I feel like that there's being a pressure to sort of do something where we already have a divided council, and I believe there needs to be a lot more community input before we take action, which basically I think covers laws that are already in existence for protection for people.
What do you think about the ordinance?
I am in full support of the ordinance. I think that a lot of the beliefs that it's going to bring frivolous lawsuits are unfounded.
And first time I've been to Village Square, but I really believe that this gives everybody in the community the right to speak their mind in a civil manner.
I think it was very evenly divided, for and against, and it was good public discussion and a lot of things to think about.
What do you think of forums like this?
Oh, I think it's great.